Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be continuing our lesson on investigating number sequences. Now, for this portion of the lesson, we are going to be looking at more specific definitions that help us with number sequences. There are quite a few concepts on the concept map behind me, but in this lesson, we are going to break each of them down and use examples that will hopefully help us understand these definitions a bit more. So, let us have a look at our first concept. The first concept is term number. Now, what a term number is that it refers to the position of the term in the sequence. So, Tn is the nth term of the pattern, where n is the term number. So we're just saying that we are going to pop a little number where the n is, and that's going to tell me the position of the term in the sequence. So if I say t subscript 1, this means that it is the first term of the pattern. As we can see, we've substituted in a 1 where the n is. T3 is the third term of the pattern because I have substituted in a 3 where n is. We can continue using term number. I could say T732 where n is 732. That means it's the 732nd position of that pattern. So whatever's in that n is telling me the term number. Wonderful. Let's look at the next definition. The next definition is term value. This is the actual value of the term. So we will say that we can substitute in a number that is the actual value of the term. So you'll have Tn is a specific number. So let's have a look at the line below. If I say T7 is 334, that means that the value of the 7th term is 334. So, with that example, 7 is my term number because it is the 7th term, but the 7th term is 334. So the term value is 334. Great, let's look at the next one. We are going to look at the next definition, which is the general term or the nth term. What this means is that if we find the relationship, and the relationship we're meaning the mathematical relationship, between the position of a term and its value, we can find a general formula which matches the pattern and find any term in the sequence. So the general formula is essentially expressed as the nth term. If that's sounding like a lot of English, I'm going to try and break it down a bit. All that it means is that the general term describes a mathematical relationship between n, which is my term number, and Tn, which is my term value. And the relationship between these two can help me determine the sequence itself or particular facts about the sequence. I could find later term values, I could find out which terms have that value, but essentially the general term is the mathematical relationship between the term value and the term number. Great. The first example is that if we are given the pattern 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, the nth term for this pattern is said to be Tn is equal to 2n minus 1. So essentially the nth term is a relationship between Tn and n. So just a reminder, Tn is the term value and n is the term number. The question has asked us to check whether the nth term is correct for this pattern. So the pattern is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I have the general terms that has been given to me as Tn is equal to 2n minus 1. In order for me to check if it is in fact the general term for this sequence, I'm going to substitute n is equal to 1, 2, 3 going on to see if the term value matches the term number. So let's see if they match. So if I've substituted 1, I'm going to have 2 times 1 minus 1, which gives me 1. Then if I'm looking at term 2, I'm substituting in 2 for n. So I'm going to have 2 times 2 minus 1, which will give me 3. Then if I'm checking the third term, I'm going to have 2 times 3 minus 1, which gives me 5. Okay, then if I'm looking at term 4, I'm substituting in 4 for n, so I'm going to have 2 times 4 minus 1, which gives me 7. So far I can see that 1, 3, 5, and 7 are correct. I'm then going to see, last but not least, if term 5 is correct. I'm going to say 2 times 5 minus 1, which gives me 9. This is good news, because this means that the general term, when substituting in term numbers, which it was n equals 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we could see that the general term matched my actual sequence. So that means that general sequence, or that general term, is correct for that pattern. Wonderful, guys. So we're going to take a bit of an ad break right now, but we'll continue with more examples shortly after this.